Do be sure you check out the full season review with the card and link in the description. Remember to like this video for more Gen 5 reviews. I believe it's general consensus at this point that Portrait of a Princess is the best episode of Chapter 2. It's not my favorite one, but I fully understand why it's considered the #1 episode to many people. This is quite simply the Zipp and Pipp episode we deserved.
I want you by my side.
Episode 3 is a masterclass in exhibiting relationship dynamics concerning family and exchanges between siblings. A realistic and commonplace dilemma that could have effortlessly ruined the sisters' reputation. But why didn't it? Why does this episode get so much attraction from everyone? Why is it so beloved? Well, hold on tight. Time to go for a ride!
Oh, I can't stand you! You're so exhausting! I got nothing!
One thing that the opening sets up expertly is the emergence of a strained relationship between the sisters Zipp and Pipp. Before harmony was even officially restored and the magic was given a second chance, the state of affairs living within an opulent setting like Zephyr Heights was still a bit of a burden, having to constantly live behind a mask to maintain the city's prestige of being environmentally and ethically better than the rest. This was clearly displayed in A New Generation that while Pipp relished in the glory it brought her, Zipp was virtually miserable on a daily basis. We even occasionally got to see how their sisterhood was handled, and it looked like they didn't even love each other. They were more like two best friends sharing banter.
Mom, such a steam way.
Right. Then why are you here?
For the content.
Let me take a selfie.
Now that the magic has come back and the sisters take residence inside the Crystal Bright House, their relationship would have undeniably taken a turn for the better. We can't forget about the fact they have friends to depend on now instead of wasting their lives online or somewhere underground. However, in the face of all the positives that societal balance brings to the table, Zipp and Pipp's lives with each other is something that still hasn't had an effort to repair, which is the exact reason why I love this opening.
Good morning, Pipp Squeaks!
Pipp is vigorously running her mouth off about being excited to attend the annual school picture day. Sorry.
Zephyr Heights Royal Princess Portrait Day!
And interacting with her fans online before asking Zipp what she thinks as a last resort, who is way too busy in her detective element to even care. Zipp being Hitch's second in command has been a constant slice of character growth throughout the generation, most strongly in the first special and some Tell Your Tale episodes, most notably in Fool Me Once and The Game is a Hoof.
Who took my sunglasses?
Me! So I appreciated this brief dissonance between the sisters when Zipp shuts down Pipp's stream.
Pipp, this investigation is private.
And Pipp backhoofing Zipp when she's more worried about looking awful in a photograph.
We are in danger of looking awful in a portrait printed on the cover of Pegasus Weekly.
Stop being such an attention whore!
It's stirring in a humorous way before Pipp tries to sing a song to lift the mood. This becomes a subtle yet emotional piece of foreshadowing for the song that the sisters sing during the epilogue.
Be still, don't move.
No song,
it's
Pipp.
easy to smile with you by my side.
It's only suitable that if this episode is going to be Zipp and Pipp's character piece like the first two for Izzy and Hitch, where else to slingshot the story with high spirits than this location was previously introduced in the first special and countless Tell Your Tale episodes, so I find it particularly riveting that we return to the salon again. The main melody is the prime location for most of the interactions between the cast. I like that as it gives the location meaning and a heartwarming aura to later events, especially when Queen Haven finally has a musical number of her own.
I call this one Pony Love.
The visuals are definitely vibrant, and the way the camera is positioned below pointing up at Queen Haven did give her a dominant feel, like the royal ruler that she is. The way the rhythm and Haven's lengthened lyrics made me sway a little, but like many others have said before, I find it disappointing how the song is deliberately cut off.
The mountains I have climbed.
You cannot deny that you would feel somewhat cheated by not getting to hear the full song on screen. The fact that it still goes on after 4 minutes of runtime is slightly unstable. Yes, I know that the full song is on the album, but that's not the point. Either go big or go home.
Why don't you just go home?
Sunny exhibits more of her natural curiosity towards Pipp for learning all about the portrait day, firing on all cylinders with questions again. It brought me back to the scene in A New Generation when Sunny was quizzing Izzy all about her species.
Do unicorns really live in trees? Do they eat pizza? If so, what toppings do they like?
Here, in this episode, I find her behavior more approachable and friendly because, you know, they're friends now and not total strangers.
What kind of portrait are we talking? How long has this tradition been a thing? Is the portrait used for anything specific?
There's no doubt that Pipp would be all in to answer questions, as there's still more to learn, and I adored that about this conversation.
And the picture shows up everywhere, even on our Pegasus money.
You legit have Monopoly money, Pipp! Alternatively, Zipp remains apathetic about the hype centered on Portrait Day. It's hilarious when Pipp stomps her foot down and demands Zipp to leave her stubbornness behind just for one day.
Zephyrina Storm.
Only Mom calls me that.
It gets even better when they both have different reactions to their mother turning up on their doorstep.
Quick! Hug, Mother!
Mom!
Hi, Mom.
That's it?
Pipp and Haven want to have the most luxurious hair treatment done, while Zipp wants out before ending with...
I was thinking maybe I'd skip the...
Zephyrina Storm!
Oh, you're in trouble, girl! While all is peaceful and gossipy in the main melody, Opaline and Misty have been secretly scheming for how they can lure the sisters away. Celestia knows how and where Misty obtained a photo of the royal family, but it becomes the seed to sprout all of the episode's predicaments. This exact picture is one of great importance for showing the difference between the past and present lives Zipp and Pipp now lead.
Their personalities were always so different, but they laughed about it then.
Once upon a time, the sisters were practically inseparable and always enjoyed doing the same things together, as shown by their smiles and them nuzzling. Shown in the ending, there's a beautiful panning shot of the same royal portrait alongside the following years where it captured their eventual separation from each other.
We used to love this stuff when we were little. Why not recapture that feeling and just enjoy it?
It gives one scene Queen Haven has in the salon with Sunny extra emotional weight, where she wishes Zipp and Pipp could just get along together and laugh together again.
Did they get along as fillies?
They were attached at the wings. They did everything together.
Regardless of how ingenious Misty's plan is to trap the sisters, it's still physiologically deceitful how Opaline proposes to use their childhood pleasure for her superiority. Opaline doesn't honestly shake my nerves until the 4th episode, but the way her attitude expresses itself insensitively here is a welcoming starter. I have to give Opaline even more consideration when she has the acknowledgement to say this.
Be extra careful with the older one. She's far too curious for my liking.
Remember when I said they've already got one advantage over the heroes through means of the Alicorn mirror? There's ought to be plenty of occasions for when Zipp and Pipp were in view of the mirror and Opaline shrewdly studied their every move. Okay, I just realized that while I was editing this video, Opaline was not watching through the mirror. She was actually watching through Pipp's stream, so that may be a bit of a mistake on my part. But still, if Opaline is able to watch them through the stream instead of the mirror, then my point still stands that she can still study their every move, because now she has 2 ways of perspective. There's no reason for her to underestimate Zipp specifically, as she's been shown being the most inquisitive out of the 2.
My wings are twitching just thinking about it. Besides, there are more important matters at hoof.
There are bigger things happening here.
This leads to Misty magically texting Zipp a picture of the implanted flower on the beach. It's misleading, but characteristically sly how Zipp tempts Pipp with an exploration outside to find the lily.
Wouldn't this flower just be the most perfect accessory for a ponygram selfie?
I like how Opaline and Zipp act the same way here, but with divergence in their intentions. For one, Opaline wants to allure the sisters away so she can pursue her wicked plans to a greater extent, but she wants Misty to do it instead.
We need to get rid of those 2 princesses. You'll just have to lure them into a trap.
And then you have Zipp, who wants to allure Pipp away so she can continue inquiring the hologram, but she wants Pipp to do the lily search alone.
So where are we headed anyway?
I was thinking the first thing we should do is check out the crystal room and see if there's anything we might have missed in regards to the hologram.
This juxtaposition tickled me in hindsight writing this review. In the second act on the beach, the sibling drama starts to erupt, and it's even the beginning of their lost attachment with each other rebuilding itself. It's a relatable subject that many audiences can feel a poignant connection with through the characters themselves. Zipp and Pipp's continuous arguments and moments of solace reminded me so much of the memories that I had with my own sister. Let me just tell you a story.
Are you sitting comfortably? Yes. Good. Then I'll begin.
Every day when we were around in primary school, we would enjoy doing all sorts of shit outside or in front of a crappy camera in our house. But throughout time, we slowly drifted apart, and anytime we talked, it was just passing comments and not full-blown chats. Now in the present that she lives away from me and my parents, I hate admitting this, but I do miss her. Although, perhaps that's the main point of this episode, helping you realize that there's way more to life than having our heads down online or in work. It's always a heartwarming lesson to take a spin on with your own tale to tell. I strongly believe that this concept is what drawn so many fans to love this episode more than the others. It's indisputably realistic for those people who have experienced the same kind of squabbles with family, added with the jovial and most memorable times of our lives that we would preferably focus on.
Oh, why does life have to be so ironic?
It can be physically hurtful witnessing the many quarrels Zipp and Pipp have on the beach. It hits hard back home behind the screen, and nonetheless, it throws us some sensibility on who to root for. You want to show support for the sisters, as each of them are only doing what they discreetly believe is the right thing.
These rocks are just like the ones from the photo. We must be close. Yes!
On one hoof, Zipp continuing to investigate around the beach for more evidence that ties in with the Twilight hologram and who sent her the message that triggered the exploration. On the other hoof, Pipp resumes her internet antics by always being on top of the status game with every picture and stream she puts out when she encounters the Pipsqueaks, who are equally excited to see their idol again.
This stuff is supposed to be secret.
But I told every pony I'd be live streaming on Cliptrot all day.
For the content.
But then on the opposite sides of those hooves, you don't want to root for them, as you cautiously realize that they are just as bad as each other to a farcical degree. Zipp clearly isn't interested in wanting to find the ocean lily, so she disguises her true intentions with her spy gear and second thought out mutters.
It feels similar to the Twilight hologram somehow, right?
And Pipp doesn't listen to her sister's demands to keep their location confidential because she's more attentive to her promised online schedule. I love it when Pipp always has a reason to back up her claims about using her phone when Zipp questions her about it.
What did I say about keeping our location a secret?
I turned the geotagging off.
No social media!
But I put a filter on it.
No social media!
As it helps to create tension between the sisters before the penultimate blow.
But the truth is, I don't care a salt lick about your ponygram posts!
Zipp just killed her sister! This one engagement becomes the breaking point for the sisters before they ultimately find the ocean lily in a concealed cave under the bay. Yet both siblings are too embittered at one another to properly take in the discovery, which lands them in a final fight. No matter the horse puns.
I can't believe you're acting this filly-ish.
This was frankly hard to sit through, watching Zipp and Pipp's relationship basically shatter.
Well, I can't believe that you are a liar.
By a liar, your pants are on fire!
Thankfully, Misty causes a cave-in that stops the argument, confining them from the outside. After being on tight ropes with each other's requests, their minds fully collapse and blame themselves for all the mayhem brought upon them. Whether you admit it or not, this is the prime segment of the episode, as they both awkwardly apologize and give one another the satisfaction that none of them want at that very moment. Being the younger sister, Pipp completely gives up, even when Zipp tries to cheer her up by giving herself a jab about being the older sister.
In the end, I made it all about me. I haven't been a very good older sister, huh?
Achieving not a single reaction from Pipp, the pinnacle sequence of the episode bursts through the door and takes center stage.
Just being with you, my heart opens wide.
It's harsh to even think about hating this musical number because it's just gorgeous in a familial perspective.
As it all comes clear to me, you're my best friend, my family.
The song legitimately shoves the brightest spotlight on Zipp and Pipp, and the way the cinematography is shown throughout the song is one of the most charming pieces of animation I've seen. The illuminated water backdrop on the cavern wall is so soothing and adds a flare of tranquility to the singing delivered by the sisters.
I wanna capture this moment as we hit our stride.
Conveying a bit of awareness for our own families, and yeah, the song's orchestric struck my heart and made me think back on my own sister and how she's doing herself. Why am I thinking this? For fuck's sake, Fluff Butts. I didn't expect this when I was voicing the narration for this review. I think I need to text my sister.
Portrait day, I want you by my side.
One pathetic sob story later.
Alright, I've taken a break, Fluff Butts. Don't worry, I'm okay. We chatted a little, and yeah, she's all fine and dandy. Nothing to fret about. Here's a text to prove it. Anyway, let's just finish this up. After the mental breakdown-worthy song ends, Zipp and Pipp comfortably manage to find a hole in the cave that provides their exit. The introduction of the Pipsqueaks earlier on in the episode gives the story cogent fulfillment and payoff by having them using their flora magic to help set the siblings free. Like a famous man once said, don't bring ponies to the beach if you ain't gonna let them set your rump free later on. It was a terrific scene to witness Seashell, Glory, Pitchfizz, and the other fillies rescuing their idols. This did make me smile, and it was delightful how Pipp promised them a shout out. Even the smallest gestures can mean the dearest of sentiments.
But I'll be sure to give you a shout out in my next Clip Trot stream, so stay tuned!
Typical.
Zipp and Pipp make it back to Sever Heights in time for the portrait, much to their mother's surprise of them not sprucing themselves up beforehand.
To you two.
It gave me a good chuckle seeing the newest portrait added beside the others. Times may change and people adjust differently, but we are still who we are. But none of this has gone ignored under Misty's muzzle when she returns to Opaline's dark castle to announce the unfortunate news. Opaline's foul attitude steals the limelight within the final moments, as she doesn't give Misty the time of day by addressing her failure.
I'm sure I can lure them out again. I just need to...
Don't bother.
At the start, both of them truthfully had some meaningful interactions, and what disparity it is that all of that is now gone here. So Opaline coldly proposes getting involved too, with a cliffhanger that freaked me out. Oh man, this was hella of an episode. Hopefully the next episode can deliver the same. So, repeat this after me, Fluffbutts. Was it a yay or a nay? Do I even need to explain any further on trying to prove why this episode is Chapter 2's finest creation? No matter if Portrait of a Princess focused only on the royal sisters, their ferocious engagements blew the heartwarming story out the window. It is a perfect example of waking up and appreciating life and taking it by the mane. None of you should be surprised at all by this result. Of course it's going to earn the golden yay. Okay everybody, you can have this one. This is the best episode of Chapter 2. Apart from a few obvious niggles, this episode is astounding. Janaine Hall's writing is near perfection for giving the sisters a story filled with purpose and sentiment. Zipp and Pipp's performances were absolutely gripping for the eventual descent of their relationship before it picks itself back up welcomingly. I cannot deny that this episode evoked my own inner feelings for how I feel around my own family, and I am obliged to give this episode tons of credit. Its scale concerning the estrangement undertone centered around the sisters is impressive, and it has you torn between who to actually root for. Zipp and Pipp's continuous arguments were splendid, relatable humor that worked well for the narrative at play. Queen Haven's inclusion was fun too, for how innocently unaware she was of the situation her daughters keep landing themselves into. Even the Pipsqueak's appearances here and there were completely necessary for being the ones to save the sisters' lives by the end. And then the Portrait Day song exploded with vivacity. The water visuals and the cold vibrancy in the face of such a heartwarming musical number almost made my water gates open up. Like I said before, this is simply Zipp and Pipp's masterpiece. I award Portrait of a Princess a golden yay and a 9 out of 10. Why should I delay the result I know you're already waiting for? Your wish indeed came true. The third episode is earning the first sparkling S rank on the Gen 5 tier list. Thank you so much for watching this review, Fluffbots. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and hoof tap this video and comment your thoughts down below of what your thoughts on this episode were. Also, don't forget to leave a pledge on my Patreon page down in the description below so you can help support me in making these fantastic videos more consistently. And I shall see you all very soon. Goodbye! And before the video ends, I would like to shout out my Silver Fluffbutt patrons, Louise Wade and Alex Smith, and my Gold Fluffbutt patron, the Pate and Grauerful Trisky. I truly appreciate your love and support.